no other individuals were injured in this. All the officers were okay. Two of the officers were checked out by ambulance, but no serious injuries. And that's it. There's not that much that I can share. Michigan State Police just arrived on scene here. We're going to have a large area blocked off. Michigan State Police is coming with their full forensic team, so they're going to have a large trailer here, a large footprint of detectives. We got a lot of evidence to go through. I see, just looking at that block there, there's a lot of residences with Ring doorbell cameras or with doorbell cameras, and because of the time of day, 5:30 p.m., I think there were a lot of people outside, a lot of witnesses to talk to, so we're going to cooperate as much as we can with MSP. Thankful OPA arrived very early on in the process, so they've been in on it, on the whole situation from the beginning. Any questions, if you have any, please let me know.
Do you know how long they were engaging with the suspect before he charged? Do you know the timeline?
Well, the only reason I do know is because I often listen to the radio as I travel around. I wasn't in the city. I actually was listening to the call live. I heard the officers indicate that there was an individual with a knife. I heard them say something to the extent that the knife is in his pocket, and then just moments later, shots fired. So probably, it could have been less than a minute that this whole incident happened. I'm not sure. The good thing is that I mentioned the doorbell cameras that are out there. We have 4 officers, all of them assigned patrol, all of them with body-worn cameras. We've already secured those cameras, taken them to the station. Those will be downloaded. Michigan State Police will have access to those tonight. After I get the green light from them, we'll review them. We'll go through for any sort of privacy redactions we need, and hopefully get that out to you preliminarily to show you the use of force as soon as we can. I believe he was born in the 90s. I know he's an adult. I don't have his exact birthday, but I do know he's an adult.
The crime scene is in the large footprint of it. Is that as a result of what happened before officers arrived?
No, and I should clarify on that. So because there's so many individuals out, it's across from a very large apartment building. Even when I arrived, probably 20 minutes later, there were dozens of people out. So just the potential for neighbors that may have heard something, that may have talked to may have additional evidence. There's a lot of people to talk to. And although GRPD was on the scene, obviously, at the time, and additional officers arrived quickly, we want to make sure that we ensure the integrity of the investigation for MSP. So they're going to have a chance to do pretty much the entire thing over again, talk to any witnesses that might be out there, do a secondary canvass again. Now, the initial crime scene, not only is it the area that this incident occurred directly outside of a residence, but also because there were multiple shooting officers, because it was outside, we want to make sure we do a very thorough and careful job making sure if there was any possibility that gunfire traveled outside of that immediate scene. And as you guys have experience with, I've told you this many times, bullets can travel over a mile, even from a semi-automatic handgun, and still be deadly. So they want to make sure that if there's any chance that a bullet traveled outside of that immediate scene, that they have that bullet collected, they ensure everyone's safety. So as the night goes on, we're going to start with a very big footprint. MSP just got here. We're going to start, bringing that crime scene tape in and focus on just the recovery of that specific evidence. But for the time being, it is a pretty big footprint.
Will the officers be put on leave pending this investigation?
So I've got, as far as involved officers, I got at least 4. I've got 2 officers that discharged a taser, 2 that discharged their firearms. Those 2 that discharge their firearm will be placed on administrative leave starting now. And as the review of the case goes on, we'll take whatever other steps necessary. But as per practice and our procedure, they will be placed on administrative leave immediately.
Do you have any more info just on the domestic call? So expand on that. So it started inside and it came outside?
Yeah, it sounds like exactly right. It sounds like, and so what I have and what I'm basing my knowledge on is the 911 call. The 911 call was for domestic-related incident, individual armed with a knife, individuals who live in the house want him out. That's what the information the officers have. I know the call started inside the house. They had discussion with this individual, and it ended outside the house where the shooting took place. That's about all I have. I know I'm very interested to hear from MSP, to get the green light to review the body-worn camera, because I think it's going to very clearly tell the whole story. I did have the information that I listened to in real time So that gives me some idea, but it's certainly going to be helpful to have that body-worn camera evidence as well. I know there were family members inside the house. I know the MSP detectives, as we were walking over here, those were the first individuals they were looking to speak to. So I don't think it's going to be a mystery what happened here tonight. I think we're going to get a clear indication of the story immediately, and not going to draw any conclusions till we have that as evidence to base those conclusions on.
And you think serious condition, life-threatening?
Well,
You know where those
any gunshot wound is a very serious gunshot wound. I know he was shot multiple times. I believe that that it is not life-threatening, but being that we haven't got the official word from the hospital, I'm just going to say that's preliminary at this time.
The crowd and the witnesses, everybody cooperating. I know with a large amount of people outside, tensions could escalate. Did it stay calm?
Yeah, large crowd outside. I was probably here maybe 20 minutes after the fact. Everyone was very cooperative. Report from the initial officers who responded, they indicated that everybody seemed very cooperative as well. So no issues with that. I think the individuals that were there will probably be able to provide the answers. Otherwise, the neighbors, they were just looking for the answers.
Talk a little bit more about the taser not working. Did it just not hit the person?
Well, so we have we utilize Taser 10s. It's an upgrade from the Taser previously that we use. It has a further distance. We train on it very heavily. I've trained on it myself. However, and I did notice as I walked the scene that there was a large amount of clothing. Regardless of the quality of the Taser, if an individual has, say, a puffy jacket on, a leather coat, anything like that, it can make it so that depending on where that Taser probe hits, it is completely ineffective. So my instinct is, because 2 officers use those Taser probes and because there was a large amount of clothing on the ground, that's probably simply it. Because when that Taser makes contact and is effective, the neuromuscular incapacitation is almost immediate and renders that person, incapable of fighting or incapable of standing, much less fighting. So I think it was probably just a case of a perfect storm of too much clothing, but that'll hopefully be revealed by the body-worn camera. And if we see there's something else, we have that direct connection with the Taser company. Reach out to Axon and say, this is what we're seeing. That's how they improve their product. So if there's something they can improve on, we're going to let them know.
Chief, you're listening to the call on the radio as it's happening. You're hearing somebody has a knife and then officers are saying shots fired. What's going through your mind and maybe the minds of the officers on scene as they're approaching this?
I can't give you what's going through the minds of the officers. I did talk to some of the officers, not the shooting officers, but the other officers that were there, and they were hopeful that the individual was going to make a full recovery. They were thankful that it looked like the injuries weren't more serious than they were. That's the first thing you're concerned about, is this individual. There's a backstory. That obviously the preliminary reports are that he charged the officers with a knife. That is a crime. That is unacceptable, but still, you don't know if there's a mental health component involved. You don't know what's going on in this individual's life. So first thing that I know the officers were thinking about, and that I was thinking driving over here, was I hope that this individual is going to be able to make a recovery. I hope this is just something that will be, a very, very painful, obviously, learning experience, and there'll be the criminal justice process to go through. But we never want to see an incident like this end in tragedy of a loss of life. So hopefully this person makes a full recovery, and that's literally what I was thinking about on the way over here.
A lot of people in the area scared. What would you want to tell them? Is this area secure?
Yeah, this is the safest place, probably in the state of Michigan, if not the whole country right now. We have a lot of Grand Rapids police officers who are securing the scene for the investigation by the Michigan State Police. As I said, the detectives from Michigan State Police have already started arriving. You're going to see a big police presence. You're going to see their, probably a mobile command trailer, and their whole forensic team is going to be here. So you're going to have just a lot of police officers over here. No threat to the public whatsoever. I will say to the public, if you witness something, if you have evidence, if you have perhaps surveillance video or something, please, you can just step out of your house and let the officers and detectives know that are there. Certainly, if you want to stay anonymous, you can also reach out to Silent Observer via text, via email, via phone. Yeah?
Everybody good?
All right, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Appreciate it. Yeah.